Alright, so that's the only limitation. Yeah? But basically, everybody has the freedom to choose whatever religion they want. There's another case here, a case of Jamaluddin Osman. This was a Malay man who converted to Christianity. And I don't know why. I don't know why he did so. With all due respect to Christians, all the guitar playing and singing and clapping is, for me, is a bit funny, but I won't do it. So, but he did convert to Christianity, and the porter was arrested under ISA. Now the court, in this case, said that, look, you can't do that. He's got freedom to choose what religion he wants under Article 11. You can't just arrest him, using the ISA because you are breaching his right under Article 11. This was all in the late 80s, which is not that long ago. Okay, so the courts have been very clear that people have the freedom to choose their religion and that this country is a secular country. Now, where did all this craziness happen? Well, in 1988 also, all sorts of things happened in 1988. 88 was a crazy, crazy year in our country. Article 121 was amended. Now, Article 121 was amended to basically say that whatever is in the jurisdiction of the Sharia court remains in the jurisdiction of the Sharia court. Okay, so there's a clear distinction between the civil courts and the Sharia courts. Now, why was this amendment made? This amendment was made because at the time there were cases where, say, property issues, inheritance, was settled in the Sharia court, and the person who lost, unhappy, he goes to the civil court and start another action. Right? And of course, this is not right because it undermines the authority of the Sharia court. Yeah, the Sharia court has very clear areas where it can make laws, where it can rule. Okay? And if you can get a decision in the Sharia court that you're not happy with and then run to the civil court, then what's the point of having the Sharia court? Okay, so there's a very logical reason to separate the jurisdiction of the two courts. Okay? But somewhere down the line, a certain madness has entered into our courts, our civil courts, where they seem to think that Article 121 means that anything with the word Islam in it cannot be dealt with by them at all. Which is crazy. Because if it's, for example, if it's an issue concerning Article 11, my constitutional right to choose my religion, then the civil court has to deal with it. Not the Sharia court, because the Sharia court has no jurisdiction to deal with constitutional matters. So if the issue is about freedom to choose your religion, alright, then it has to be dealt with in the civil court. It cannot be dealt with in the Sharia court. The Sharia court does not have that jurisdiction and should not have that jurisdiction because it has no jurisdiction over constitutional matters. In fact, whatever powers the Sharia court has is determined by the Constitution. It is not determined by holiness or anything like that. It is determined by the Constitution. If you look at the Constitution, if you're really bored and you have nothing to do, and you go to the back of the Constitution, yeah, there's a schedule, Schedule 9. Schedule 9 lists down the kinds of laws which can be made by Parliament, the kinds of laws which can be made by the state legislatures. And the state legislatures can make Islamic laws, but it's limited. The Islamic laws that they can make is limited to marriage, divorce, property, etc. Unfortunately, in Schedule 9, there is one little provision that says that they can also make laws on matters which go against the precepts of Islam. Okay, now that seems to be like a very broad thing. It seems to be, could include anything. But I argue that even if you have this very broad power to make laws against things which go against the precept of Islam, whatever laws you make still has to be in line with the Constitution. So if you want to make a law about that, you've got something that goes against the precepts of Islam, then it still has to be done within the confines, within the limitations of the Constitution. Because otherwise, the Constitution is not supreme. And Article 4 is very clear. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Right. So one of the things which has been some of my colleagues who disagree with me. One of the things that they raised is, we are not a secular country because, look, there's so many Islamic agencies which are government agencies. In a truly a secular country, there is a separation between state and religion. There's no intermingling. But over here, there's a lot of intermingling. You have Jais, Mais, Pais, Maui, I don't know. I mean, all these different people who are chasing after me because I want to drink something yellow and fizzy. You know? I mean, Zato. Alright, okay. We have all this government type. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, ideally in a secular state, there's a complete separation between state and religion. But then, if you think about it, all these bodies are still bound by the Constitution. Yeah, they may say that they get their authority from a higher being. They don't. They get their authority from the Constitution. So ultimately, they are still bound by a separate document, which is our Constitution. And come on now, I mean, like, how separate is separate anyway? When Barack Obama swore to be president in America, what did he swear on? The Bible. Right? It's the same in the British Parliament. They all swear. When you go to court, even in the US, you're swearing on the Bible. Right? There's always a little touch of intermingling. But the main issue here, the main point here is that the source of our law and the source of the legitimacy of our laws come from our Constitution, which is secular. That cannot be forgotten. So to say that we are an Islamic state is a lie, simply because it's not in the Constitution, it's not in the Reed Commission, it is not in our court's decisions at all. That's the first point. The second point is this Ketuanan Melayu business. There's a new group in Penang called SABM. I don't know whether you read about that. SABM, which is a very Ketuanan Melayu type gang of supposedly Malay NGOs, although when I read the report, the leaders have names which sound very suspicious. I'm from Penang. I grew up in Penang, and I know when you have a name like Mohideen, your Malayness should be in question, but they call themselves a Malay. But anyway, whatever. And I like that name, Sadam with a Q. Very Penang. It's not Sadam. It's not Sadam with an R, it's Sadam with a Q. Aku sedang, hantar sedang. It's wonderful. Anyway, so this kind of guy, Melayu Tuan, that's where on earth do you get this Tuan business? Okay, I'll tell you where it springs from. If you look at it from our Constitution, Article 153. Article 153, and let me, please indulge me while I read it. I can find it. It shall be the responsibility of the Yang Di-Pertuan Agong to safeguard the special positions of the Malays and natives of any of the states of Sabah and Sarawak, and the legitimate interests of other communities in accordance with the provision of this article. Okay? So, it's not to safeguard the Ketuanan, it's to safeguard the special position. And don't be fooled by this idea of Malay rights. There is no such thing as Malay rights. You have special privileges, but you don't have any special rights. Okay? So, if you look at the law, this contact, these terms, they have no foundation in the Constitution. Now, if you look at Article 153, it does seem to be saying that there's going to be differential treatment because you have this special position. But again, let's look back in history a little bit, and let's hear what the Alliance had to say